Good afternoon. Welcome. Happy New Year first. Welcome to the 2025 organizational meeting of the Brighton Town Board. It's January 2nd, and I'm Bill Maley, Brighton Town Supervisor. We hold the organizational meeting each year to approve a number of annual legal and operational requirements for the town and the town board. Once again, we are pleased to be here at our temporary home at SUNY Empire State University, 680 West Fall Road in Brighton, and we appreciate the opportunity to use space that Empire State has here. As a reminder, though, Brighton Memorial Library, the Brighton Police Department, and the Brighton Town Court are still located at 2300 Elmwood Avenue, Town Hall, and the Parks and Recreation Departments are still at their location at the Brookside School on Winton Road. In a moment, let me just ask first, I don't see anybody on our Zoom. Is there anyone here in the room that would like to participate in the open forum? Since I don't see anybody here for the open forum, then I think I will dispense with going through all of the rules and everything else on the open forum. But I will note that we do continue to make our town board meetings accessible to the deaf and hard of hearing community. We have interpreters Michael and Sarah this afternoon. Thank you both. We appreciate your work. As a reminder, the agenda for today's meeting and all of the material that we use in connection with that agenda are they're out on the table outside for anybody walking in, but they're also on the town's website. And I would ask that everybody rise, if you're able to, or otherwise in spirit, for the pledge. I'm going to ask our town clerk, Dan Amon, to lead us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And since I still see no one here for the open forum, we will skip through all of that and we will go straight to our organizational meeting business as shown on the agenda.
Do we need a motion to approve the agenda?
Let's have a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Discussion? Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Maley?
Aye, and we'll start with the org meeting business with Chris,
Good.
and we'll just go back and forth till we get done with it all.
Bill, I move that we ratify the regular meeting schedule of the Brighton Town Board for 2025.
Second.
And in each case, those resolutions are in the form prepared and reviewed by the attorney to the town. And Robin is second. Discussion? Just so you know, I know that Bridget has reviewed each of these schedules for conflicts with holidays, including Eid and the Jewish high holy days. So with that, we have a motion. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Maley?
Aye, and speaking of holidays, Robin.
Bill, I move that we ratify the 2025 Brighton Town Hall holiday schedule.
Second.
Discussion? I would note that we did discuss I'll go back to the town board schedule. I would note that at the end of the year, we have scheduled our last meeting for December 30th, not December 29th. This year we did it on the Monday after the Wednesday Christmas. we felt with Christmas on Thursday and Friday being a tough day, that we would just give everybody that extra day of time. So we're going to do it again on the 30th, but this year that is going to be a Tuesday. So in any event, we did the holiday resolution and seconded. Discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Nate?
Bill, I move that we authorize the approval of the proposed 2025 Public Works Committee meeting schedule.
Second?
Discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye.
I move that we authorize the approval of the proposed 2025 Public Safety Committee meeting schedule.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Robin?
I move that we authorize the approval of the proposed 2025 Finance and Administrative Services Committee schedule.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Chris?
Bill, I move that we approve the proposed 2025 Community Service Committee meeting schedule.
Second?
Discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye.
Bill, I move that we designate the Daily Record as the official newspaper of the town of Brighton for the year 2025.
Second?
Discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Robin?
I move that we adopt the Scott Foreman Roberts Rules of Order, newly revised, 12th edition, 2020, as the rules of its procedure for the year 2025.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye.
I move that we appoint Mark L. Frankel as Constable of the Town of Brighton for a one-year term commencing January 1, 2025, and ending December 31st, 2025.
Second.
One of two constables we have. We have a motion, and it's been seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye.
I move that we appoint Michael M. Phillips, CPA, as Constable of the Town of Brighton for a one-year term commencing January 1, 2025, and ending December 31st, 2025.
Second?
Discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye.
I move that we designate town building inspectors, environmental review liaison officer, code enforcement officers, and secretaries to various town advisory boards effective January 1, 2025 through December 31, 2025.
Second.
That's all I can do to keep up with you.
Sorry.
That's all right. Any discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye.
Bill, I move that we authorize agreement to spend highway repair funds in 2025, which are allocated in the 2025 budget.
And specifically authorize an agreement to that effect with the highway superintendent.
Second?
Can I have a second? Thank you, Robin.
Bill, I move that we appoint Bruce
Oh,
Black.
we got to vote.
Oh, excuse me.
Got to vote. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman.
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Now you really are.
Oh, here we go.
Wait a second. Did we get Councilmember Werner in that vote? Okay. All right. Now
I'll go slow.
now we can go to the animal control.
Oh, here we go. Bill, I move that we appoint Bruce Blackman, Jack Leyland, and Juliana Wild as animal control officers, part-time, of the Town of Brighton for a term of 1 year commencing January 1, 2025, and ending December 31, 2025.
Second?
Discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Manley.
Aye. Robin?
I move that we authorize the supervisor to execute part-time programs and vendor services contracts for 2025 for the town's recreation department.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Manley.
Aye, and before we do the next one, I see just a tiny little typo on the agenda. This next item is ratifying and approving appointments made in 2024.
Ah, yep. Good catch.
Nate?
Bill, I move that we ratify and approve all appointments made by the supervisor in 2024 of all seasonal, on-call, and temporary staff, and authorizes the supervisor to appoint seasonal, on-call, and temporary staff for the year 2025.
Second?
Oops.
Robin beat you. Any discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Manley.
Aye.
I move that we designate authorized depositories and adopt deposit and investment policy for 2025.
Second.
You're getting faster.
Fun. Discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Manley.
Aye.
I move that we authorize petty cash and change funds for the year 2025.
Oh, and I see a typo in the resolution.
Resolution.
That is 2025.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Manley.
Aye, and I would note that that item does include the assessor petty cash fund, again, that we just approved late in 2024. Chris?
Bill, I move that we authorize the supervisor to enter into an agreement with Mancuso Brightman, PLLC, for services as attorney to the town in an amount not to exceed $10,000 per month for the year 2025.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Manley.
Aye. Matters of the supervisor. First, the appointment of historian Mary Jo Lanfear. Chris?
Bill, I move that we approve the appointment of Mary Jo Lanfear as town historian to the town for a term commencing January 1, 2025 through December 31, 2025.
Second?
We are fortunate to have someone with Mary Jo's wealth of knowledge about the history of Brighton. Mary Jo was out on the first day walk yesterday. We had about 15 of us, including Mary Jo and including Robin and Nick. And despite the weather, it was fun, and it was, again, just one more opportunity where Mary Jo was there and engaging with members in the community about the history of our town. So we're lucky to have her. That motion has been made and seconded. Anything further? Hearing none. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Manley.
Aye.
I move that we approve the appointment of particular council members as chairs and members of the Public Works, Public Safety, Finance and Administrative Services, and Community Services Committee.
Second.
And I would note, we also note the staff liaisons as part of that request, although it's not here in the resolution, it doesn't need to be. It just happens. We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Before we go to the clerk, I would note again, as I mentioned the other day, the Highway Department has begun picking up Christmas trees. If you're taking your Christmas tree out, natural trees only, of course. But if you would like the Highway Department to pick up and compost your Christmas tree, leave it out on your front lawn, either if you have a sidewalk between the sidewalk and the street. If you don't have a sidewalk, leave it on your lawn. Please do not put it in the street. But the highway crews will come through and pick it up. Also, please don't put it in those big plastic Christmas tree bags that you sometimes see. We can't compost them if they're wrapped in plastic. Make sure you get the ornaments off. Make sure you get the tinsel off. Make sure you get the lights off. Make sure you get the tree stand off. But we really do. It's one more opportunity for us to be as sustainable as we can be, to compost material just like we do leaves, just like we do lawn and garden debris throughout the year. We'll get your Christmas trees too.
You would think those latter things wouldn't need to be said, but we've seen all of them. Rather, our highway folks have seen all of those things on trees at the curb.
Yes, we have.
Note too, Supervisor, if your artificial tree, if you're retiring it after this year, Eco Park actually takes those as well, though you have to deliver it to them, but they will recycle that. So if you've made that switch, you can still take care of that too.
Great, thanks. Thanks for that, Dan. And speaking of the town clerk, matters of the town clerk, the records retention cycle. Nate?
Yes, right. I move that we adopt the records retention schedule for 2025.
Second?
Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. And Nate?
I move that we approve reappointments to the Architectural Review Board, Conservation Board, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, Planning Board, Sustainability Oversight Advisory Committee, Zoning Board of Appeals, and Historic Preservation Commission.
Second.
I would note that Ray Warwick's name has an extra W in it there. And I just want to thank all of those great community volunteers who have served the community and have agreed to re-up for another term. It really makes it possible for us to continue to move forward, be progressive on issues like sustainability, to continue our commitment to the historic and the architectural condition of the town, and good, smart planning. So thank you, everybody that we're reappointing today. Robin, I'm sorry.
Are we missing the Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity Advisory Board?
I don't know that they had anybody up
This year?
this year, but if, I will double check that.
We did. Monica Cabell.
Oh, was she up within?
She was approved this year. Oh, so no, not in the new. She was
I know
approved this year.
we have another meeting before the normal January meeting of
Okay.
IDEA. I'll make sure if there's anybody
All right,
that
if there's
needs to be
anybody that needs to be
reappointed,
reappointed, okay.
we'll make sure they
Great,
do.
thank you.
And I'm sorry, that motion was made by Nate and seconded by Chris or Robin?
Yes.
Chris.
Chris?
All right, with all of that, any further discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt,
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman,
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Do we have any matters of the town clerk? Taxes, perhaps?
Collection is underway. The same rules apply. We have, mail still gets addressed at 2300 Elmwood. The drop boxes are still at 2300 Elmwood. Just if anybody wants to pay in person, that's here at 680 Westfall at Empire State.
When should we be receiving those, Dan?
So my understanding is that the county is hoping the printer will mail those out today. So we've already had a good amount of traffic for people who are ahead of the curve and right on it. Came in on Friday, which was technically the first day that people could pay. We already had a good number of visitors who found their way here no problem, so.
So you have those payment accounts if anybody does want to come in.
Oh, anything, yeah, the bills are now available. Took a little longer than usual this year for some reason, but we did finally get access to them. I think, at least by the time I left Tuesday night at like 7 or something, I had all the bills out that had been requested on Tuesday to that point anyway.
Good.
And then, more came in. Well, that's a good point. Also, just at this point, too, there's a mailing list on the website that I had set up to people get notified when the bills are available. So those are the people I was mailing to on Tuesday for those folks. But otherwise, yeah, it's all systems go at this point.
Great. And that list, they get notice both of the town and county tax bill
And school.
and the school
Yep.
tax bill.
Yeah, it's an opt-in thing. It's a service that our website makes available. And people can always request a copy electronically at any time through the website as well. So.
Wonderful. Thank you. Matters of the attorney, anything?
Nothing, Supervisor. Thank you.
Matters of the town board, anything?
No.
Well, then, thank you to our two interpreters. We gave you a relatively short meeting today. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Move that we adjourn.
Second.
Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner.
Aye.
Councilmember Wilt.
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman.
Aye.
Supervisor Mailer.
Aye. Our next regular town board meeting, our first regular town board meeting of 2025, will be held next Wednesday, January 8th, here in this room at 7 p.m., 680 West Fall Road. Happy New Year again, everybody. Have a great day.